4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Should we leave
12,
that open so it doesn't echo
13,
as much?
14.
Does it
15,
echo as much?
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
I think it echoes a lot less.
23, 24. All right, so the video camera should be at around 24, and the audio starts around 24 to 25 seconds.
What do you mean? Why do we have a fucking rag here?
Say something,
Jesus.
John?
Is that out of the picture now?
I don't know, but say something.
Something.
Are you there? You're there. Okay, cool. This is it. This is it. This is it. We're doing it. This is the first one.
Does this have to be here?
Why?
Are we listening to something?
We're not
with this?
listening to anything today, so we don't have to have that here.
We don't have to have
We
it.
don't have to have it.
Should we have it? I mean, is it like?
We can have it anywhere as long as we can have it anywhere here. Just in case we do need to listen to something.
Shouldn't we use this to like promote items, like products and stuff?
Sure. What's the first
Before
thing?
we get into it,
What's the first thing you want to promote?
just
though?
want to make sure. No, I'm just kidding. It's
Okay.
not.
We don't
We're not
have.
gonna- We're not gonna do random fucking call outs, unless we really like something. Then we'll give them a shout out.
Okay.
Like
'Cause-
these globes are pretty cool. These little.
Yeah, the ice.
mics.
Oh, I guess that'll be the first thing. The blue microphones. Snowball ice.
Thank you,
your ice on.
Walmart.
Yeah, thank you, Walmart. Okay, well, the first thing. Okay,
For
let's just get to,
undercutting all the mom and pop shops.
let's just get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. What's going on today? Oh, did we start the podcast section?
It's already started. Yeah.
Oh.
Or we've allotted 15 minutes already.
Did we do the intro?
We didn't do the intro.
That's no way to start the
no,
podcast.
well,
Run it back.
The intro goes. The
Run
intro,
it back. Do
right,
the intro first.
Right now, because of the way we're doing it, the intro goes in after.
Oh, so this is gonna get edited.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So when should we actually start? So we'll edit all this shit out.
Oh, John, how's your day going? Fuck. That would be the best way to start.
Pretty good.
What day is it today? Today
is January 13th.
It's January 13th.
2021.
Wednesday the 13th. The craziest
Special.
13th landing. Short of, it's Friday the 13th and then it's Wednesday, I've been told. Reliably.
Jim. Let's
Yeah.
stay on topic here.
So it's Wednesday the 13th. We're 7 days until we have a new president. I think that's the best way to start it. Honestly.
Come on, Jim.
It
God
happens.
damn
It
it.
happens all the time. It happens to the best. And by the best, I mean Tim Cass.
I don't think he's getting fucking random text messages from His Highness.
Oh, it's just Microsoft letting me know that some of my software updates are out of date.
The fuck? Oh, that was on your computer? I thought it was your cell
No, that
phone.
was my computer. All right. So the
All
first
right.
thing, look, here's the thing. I was thinking that maybe we can just bring up.
Could we just start off by saying good morning?
Good morning.
This is GasLit.
This is
Or
GasLit.
we don't need to do the whole fucking intro thing. That's like overplayed. Everyone gets sick and tired. This is Ben Shapiro for the Daily Wire, and let me say you something.
No, let's do it, man. This is GasLit, and you're being fucking gaslit.
I think
And then-
we're all
and
being
then that's what
gaslit.
we'll put-
I think we're all being gaslit. I think that's why we're doing the show. We're just so sick and tired of being fucking gaslit.
Yeah. it really
I think
gets
that
so
most
crazy.
of Americans now are realizing that the shit that is coming out of everybody's mouth is fucking total garbage. So
Actually, you know what? I had an interesting conversation with my brother today. In the morning,
was
while
that
I was
about?
driving, and I was texting him, and I'm pretty sure.
while
that-
you were texting and
I'm
driving,
pretty sure that 90% of the time that I was driving to get to my destination, and a 20-minute destination, was looking down at the phone. But the conversation was interesting. John.
yeah,
I'll
I'm
tell you
glad
why
you
the
made it here first, and I'm glad.
I'll tell you why the conversation. The most interesting thing about having a conversation with my brother today was the fact that he has spoken a lot to his liberal friends, and they said that they're okay with big tech censorship. They're okay with it.
Okay, so this is what I'm not understanding here: is at what point did our country become so blind to the communist movement? See, you know what I think it is? I really think it's just, besides lack of knowledge, it's just there's no perspective in this country. Everybody lives in their own little bubble. Okay, we live in this beautiful country that provides us all these opportunities, and everything is literally like at the palm of your hand if you're just willing to like reach out and grab it. and people have not been to other countries where everything is censored. Okay, your thoughts are censored.
Yeah.
Literally, because
Preemptively.
you don't have access to certain information.
That's the key word that I had, preemptively, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have
Well,
the
no, you don't
option.
even have the option. You
Okay.
can't even look it up. That's the thing. See, like we're so used to just talking into a phone and saying, "Hey, you know, where's the height of the Burj Khalifa, or the, you know, how old is the Empire State Building?" And you just get instant access to information.
Right.
Whereas in other countries, like I mean, I travel around all over the world, and there is no country like the United States. Like we take for granted the fact that we have open access to information. Both sides of the aisle, it doesn't really matter. It's not a political thing. It's just a free speech thing, and that's why I think when they founded this nation, it was based in these principles of having free speech. Just it's like a basic human right to
Yeah.
be able to have a conversation. I mean, you could agree or disagree, that's fine. But to just say that every speech is violence, and you know, if you're not aligning with a certain group, that it's gonna incite, you know, insurrection, or it's gonna incite some sort of like violence to a particular group of people, that's fucking insane. That's absurd. Okay? You can't judge people by what they're saying or what they're, you know, like actions always speak louder, right?
Yeah.
And I see these guys that are all Antifa and stuff like that. They're the most violent motherfuckers on television. In the last year, if you've watched anything, okay, who comes in breaking buildings, smashing windows,
Taking
punching
siege,
people in their punching,
taking siege over
throwing-
entire governments, parts of the city, of states.
throwing
You're-
frozen water bottles on people's head, on innocent people
Yeah.
protesting in crowds. Like who's doing this stuff, right? The ones that are against violence.
Yeah.
They're everything is speech is violence. No, motherfucker, violence is violence.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't solve. You're not going to solve the racist problem. You're not going to solve the anything problem by going and trying to fight them physically. Okay, it's a stupid method.
Yeah. So here's the thing, because it's interesting that you brought up Antifa. Okay, because for a while I was equivocating what Antifa was doing to what happened in the Capitol last week.
It was probably Antifa members, to be honest with you. I don't
Well,
know.
not to get too like into it, but
Yeah,
then it's
like not to
let's
go into
blur the line.
conspiracy,
Yeah.
not to go into conspiracy
but let's-
theories, but you don't know,
But let's
because
just say-
these guys look. These guys pop up at the Black Lives Matter rallies.
Sure.
These guys pop up everywhere,
Like-
wherever they can fit in,
And-
just to create chaos.
And I'll give you credence, because online right now there are posters that are being posted to show up to the inauguration. To show up to the inauguration, not just show up, but show up armed and get ready. And it's already been proven, like whoever's sharing these posters, they're looking for like the lowest information kind of people.
Of course.
Who will see that and be
Of
like,
course.
oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. This is it. Yeah, but let's just say, you know, for argument's sake, it's not Antifa. It was Trump, MAGA people who showed up and they fucking stormed into the
yeah,
building.
it's disgusting.
What's-
They shouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
you
what's
know?
the difference between BLM protests? Because protests are good. Like I personally don't believe
absolutely
protests are useful.
Depends.
But
It
it's the
depends.
voice of
It's-
the unheard, right?
You know what it is? It's not the fact that they're useful or they're not. It's the fact that in this country we're allowed to do it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Go to Iran and try to protest. Okay. Go to China and try to start a protest. See
Yeah.
how that works out for you.
I think Tiananmen
Okay.
Square comes up.
I think there's a lot of examples in history.
Yeah.
And I think we take that for such granted in this country. But look, I used the war that was going on in Armenia, like actually, you know, they were trying to commit another genocide just this last year while everyone was asleep looking at, you know, what's going on with the election. They're looking at the news
Yeah.
while, like, from both sides, Armenia was being attacked, and there was no speak of it anywhere in the media because it doesn't serve their agenda, right? So 150,000 peaceful protesters hit the street here in Los Angeles, but they have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Nothing broken, no harm done to any property, nobody was injured, but we have the right to get together and protest. And it's just to bring information that is being silenced. So if you can peacefully go out and demonstrate and you have the ability to do that, why would you want to limit people's abilities? I don't understand. Like, I don't get. See, it can't be one-sided where if it doesn't fit our agenda, we don't want to cover it. It can't be if it doesn't fit what our belief system is, that, you know, it's got to be bad. So let's not give it any credence. The fact that you can, you know, the fact that the Klan can go and have rallies, okay, and the fact that Black Lives Matter can have rallies, and everything in between, that's America. That's what's beautiful about our country. Now you can decide to align with one side or the other. That's fine, you know. But at the end of the day, most of us are not bad people, okay? I'm talking about like the normal Americans, the people that are not on one extreme or on the other extreme. We just want what's good for our families, for our children, for our friends. We're all built in small communities, you know, and these communities are being destroyed right now by two sides pulling at each other, you know, like at opposite ends. So they want you to go extreme, let's go Nazi, or they want you to go like everybody's a Nazi kind of thing, and let's push in the other direction. And it's not like that. Most people are not radicals, and that's the thing. I don't get that, Jim. Like, when did we become like a nation of radicals?
I'll tell you when. Can I tell you when?
Please inform me.
So when I was younger, between when MySpace was dying and Facebook was becoming a big thing, I remember reading news articles about that Facebook is going to start doing algorithms so they can create content that is more to your liking, right?
Yep.
So let's just say, like, I'm not a big sports guy. I like baseball, but I'm not a big sports guy, right? But I do like all these other things. So what Facebook slowly did, and eventually all these other social media companies did, is they started tailoring things towards you and putting you in little niches.
Yep.
And this is what happened with
confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias, echo chambers.
So
is what happened.
Now it's just resonating in your ear, like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and
that's what I thought. Everybody agrees with me. Look at all these other millions of likes and people that are also following this, and they think that that's right. And then you're just completely eliminating another perspective that's out there.
So that's
which is not just discounting that perspective, but you're now creating like your own echo chamber,
right,
of like bad information.
So that's
on both sides. This has to do with both. This isn't like this one side's right and the other side's wrong.
It does and it doesn't. It shows that that liberals and leftists are more likely to watch leftist and liberal shows rather than a broad spectrum of news information.
100%.
While conservatives are more likely to just they'll peek in there, because every time you hear a conservative show, they're like, don't believe me, don't trust me, go look for yourself, go look to Slate, go look to Huffington Post. That's what they do.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. But you know, the reality is there's so much more leftist media than there is conservative media, right? That's available.
Yeah.
And
readily available.
So actually, unless you're going out and pursuing and looking for these types of, you know, the right side of not right as in morally right or wrong, but you know, like conservative views, conservative media, it doesn't really exist anywhere. Like, you literally have to subscribe for conservative news channels just to get some, like, another perspective, because everything you're getting in the media today, your local, you know, your national level media, is all predominantly left. And it's hard leaning left. It's not like, I mean, everyone's drinking the same Kool-Aid, you can tell. When they're having these conversations, there is no consideration for the other side whatsoever. So, and that's really, I mean, it's scary, because what will happen is the next generation coming up is going to come up in this echo chamber of just hardcore propaganda, because that's all it is. What's going on right now is the same thing that happens when countries start pushing communist propaganda.
Well, that's what's interesting, because right now, again, it goes back to that conversation about my brother with his friends. They're sanguine. Like, they're deleting Trump off of Facebook. Good, but is it really? here's the thing that caught me by surprise. I thought that like it would be total just like conservatives, people on the right that would be like, this is kind of messed up. We should not be doing this. But it's not. Slate came out saying that. The French government, German government, the Mexican government, they all said this is not good. They came out today on Bloomberg and said this is not good. Like we should not be moving in this direction. The ACLU, who has been blurring the lines between what the definition of real words are and what like they want to feel real words are in the past couple of years, they came out and said like, you know what, like Trump's, we don't think he's great, but this is not good at all. And I think that I find that interesting, considering the fact that these people who you think are, or who we like to think for whatever reason are against us, are on our side, and the people who are on their side, who they think is against them, is on their side. So it's kind of like, wait, what is going on? The only reasonable thing that you could think is that I think rational people know that big tech censorship is a no bueno. Like,
no, absolutely. And look, when did like personal responsibility stop being a thing?
yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because if the president says something and the president says something incites a riot, I didn't see, 300 million people go storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
I just saw like a few, I don't know, 100 or 1,000 or whatever got in there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some, nuts in there, and you saw that, right? Like, you don't typically walk down the street wearing a Viking hat, right? So, I mean, this is like the level of your person trying to come in. And when do we start giving some personal responsibility back to the citizens,
that's the problem,
as opposed to just everything is violence?
That's the problem.
You're inciting riots. Don't say this or that because everyone's got to be handled with kitten gloves.
Yeah.
No,
that's the problem with niche markets. That's the problem with niche markets, and the fact that we put all these people into the same boxes, right?
It doesn't work.
You can't
differentiate. It doesn't work.
You can't differentiate between groups and personal.
We gotta stop handing out medals to 8th place, okay? It doesn't work. It's gonna destroy our country. Like, when there is an open capitalist society and there's competition, right? We're teaching our kids from a young age, like, hey, you get a participation trophy. No, you lost, so get better.
Yeah.
That's what they should be teaching them. You're doing something wrong. Fix it. Put the responsibility on the person. Not, oh, well, it's Jimmy's dad told me this, so I went and I shot the kid. No, that's not all right. We need to start putting responsibility back on ourselves. This is not, I don't know what kind of world we live in where if somebody says something that, oh, well, Cardi B told me to do it, so no, it's not, that's not, she's not responsible.
But I have a question.
Okay?
Do you think it's too late?
No, it's never too late. It's never too late. You know why? Because this new woke culture, or whatever they want to call it, there's more people with common sense than there is of these woke idiots that have time to do posts on social media and do whatever, It's just that they're more engaged on, I think, getting media out. And so that's what everyone is consuming, as opposed to the people that have jobs and are working and are taking care of their families and they're feeding their kids and taking care of their loved ones. Those people don't have time to sit there and have discourse with morons, okay? Because that's what they are. They're absolute freaking morons. If you're saying that, oh, you can't do this because that would be racist against blacks. We need affirmative action for all things? No, if a black man is educated and highly qualified, 100% he should have the same opportunity as a white candidate. But if a black man comes in and he's not as qualified as a white or an Asian or a whatever, you can't just say, well, we have diversity requirements here. That's wrong. That's not America,
Yeah.
And it's a fundamental problem. The problem is not that, oh, it's America is systemically racist. No, the problem is we stopped caring about certain environments, okay? Like the inner cities. And these inner cities, they're not just black. There's Latins in these communities. There's blacks in these communities. There's white people that live in these communities that grow up. Okay? I grew up in a bad neighborhood. All right? I know what that feels like. I know what it is when you're going to school and you don't even see a way out. Like you just think you're just gonna finish high school and go get a job and work as a mechanic. Okay? Because that's the best that you can possibly imagine. All right? It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with the attention that we're giving, right? We spend hundreds and millions of dollars on ridiculous things like gender studies and giving people like 15 different pronouns.
You're not down with gender studies?
Okay, we're not going to get into that in this podcast. Okay, that's its own podcast. I don't even want to get into this shit.
All right.
But that money could be well spent on giving the younger generations in these inner cities the proper training so they know that there's opportunity for you. There isn't just like this glass ceiling that you're going to meet, all right? It doesn't have to be, I'm going to have to hit the streets as soon as I'm 13, 14 years old and go hustle to bring money home so we can have bread, okay? If that culture changes, then everything changes. So it's not about racism and trying to keep people down. It's about the fundamental structure of how everything is built. It's not like we have a military industrial complex. We have an educational complex too that is miseducating our youth to grow up thinking that like, hey, you don't really have a chance.
Yeah. So
You
you're saying
understand what I'm
because we're
saying?
so obsessed with, you know, I gotta be honest with you, because I grew up in the 90s. And there was this article that talked about how cartoons and movies are basically turning persons of colors into like minuscule things like shapes and stuff because they don't care about persons of color, right? And I thought that was kind of strange because I grew up on Static Shock. I grew up Static Shock. I grew up my cousin Skeeter, the Proud Family, Mucha Lucha, El Tigre. Like when we grew up, like the focus wasn't race, but we were represented in the 90s with full of different kinds of things. It wasn't just white people all the time.
Look, I grew up on Sesame Street. Okay?
Yeah, and that was
everybody lived on Sesame Street.
Everybody.
If there was your neighbors all lived on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
You didn't run into anybody that didn't live on Sesame Street.
That didn't look like
that.
you.
It was
there.
Everyone was there, and everybody got along just fine.
Yeah.
There was no talk about like, oh, this person's, you know.
Well, because I'm
Gordon
Mexican,
is black.
and now I have to talk about
Maria
immigration.
is Latino.
So we have to talk about immigration now. Like it's like that wasn't the case. The focus was just like, dude,
the focus was the community.
Yeah,
the focus was like, yo, let's go to Hooper's store and you know support our local grocery store.
Yeah,
let's go see Big Bird so he can like godfather some issue that we're having. Like you know, like there's always this thing now where everything has to be cut up into like it's black and white.
Yeah.
Or it's these people are racist.
It's not.
And
Like,
these people are
in.
No,
we blended in the 90s and the 80s.
We've been blended for a long time.
I feel like with Blazing Saddles, The Jerk, like all those movies,
yes,
like they were peak like, okay, we're trying to transition into something that makes us normal, that makes us blend in together, because obviously we blend in together.
Look,
and in the 80s it was like, okay, we're blended in, but then somehow
I don't know where these conversations started to come about, you know, because ultimately when you like break it down for all of us, we all like the same things. We all want the same things.
Yeah.
We're American in the fact, like what's beautiful about us is the fact that we're diverse.
Yeah.
That's what makes this country so great, is that like we can go right now and we can go to a Chinese food spot and get authentic Chinese food. We can go to a Mexican shop, like a hole in the wall, and get the best tortas. And we can go to like an Armenian cuisine, right, and get some kebab.
And Vegas has some pretty badass Armenian cuisines.
We have really good things for each one of our cultures that we share with each other.
Yeah.
That we enjoy being able to like. That's not assimilation. Like, oh, you know, why you talk like that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't understand where this became like, oh, you're a racist. You know, if you're. So hold on. Should I is El Pollo Loco racist? You know, is
Do you want me to answer that question? As a Mexican, I will tell you, yes.
why does the chicken have to be crazy?
Yeah,
why
dude.
couldn't it just be?
Yeah, speaking to our Latin women, dude, like, they got that spiciness or what? I don't understand. What are you guys trying to insinuate?
Why you gotta use serrano chilies?
Dude, there was this commercial back in the day. It was so funny. It was just like, there was this guy that was having a stroke in El Pollo Loco like lobby, and he was like, "Oh, I'm dying," right? And then the fucking head chef from El Pollo Loco show up, and he's like, "I need the spoon," and then he gives the fucking chicken in his mouth, and the guy's stroke goes away.
You're kidding me?
No, it was awesome. It was awesome commercial. That's what
He
it
just
was.
put the spoon
He
in
just
his
put the
mouth?
spoon in his mouth, and then the guy's stroke went away.
That was a commercial?
El Pollo Loco will save you from strokes.
It's good to know. I thought you needed to take like an aspirin or something, but okay.
Oh boy, oh lord.
Dr. Jim.
All right. Well, anyways, to go back to what we were talking about, from liberals being okay with censorship and liberals, are we okay with censorship? Because right now the House is beginning debate on impeaching Trump for inciting insurrection. According to CNBC, John, the House is to impeach Trump for inciting Capitol attack as more Republicans get on board. You cool with that, man?
This is what I don't understand here. Okay. It's 13th, right?
It is the 13th.
Okay. Why do we waste our taxpayer money on this kind of shit?
That's a good
Can you
question.
explain to me that?
Well,
Explain to me this.
Sure.
This whole process is gonna take over a week, right? Just to pull off this issue.
Deliberations and figuring
Well, they're
out
gonna-
judges.
100%.
and figuring out- yeah.
Okay. You get a parking ticket. It takes 3 months. Okay. So
Yeah.
this process,
The band.
he's gonna be out of here in 7 days, and they want to focus on let's impeach him.
But here's the crazy thing that I find interesting, because Mitch McConnell said, "Yeah, I think I'm ready to do that. We're gonna go ahead and do the impeachment because I'm kind of interested," right? Which is what's interesting, because I think that just shows, one, the callousness and the spinelessness of the Republican Party.
Oh, they're all pussies.
100%.
The Republican Party is the biggest group of pushovers. It's the saddest group
Yeah.
that I've ever seen. They don't even know what they
Look,
are. They don't stand for anything. It's ridiculous.
When I became an adult, I was a progressive. When I first voted, I voted for Bernie Sanders because I was a populist. I ended up voting for Trump again because I'm a populist that likes progressive values, but deep down inside, I realized that I'm a conservative. There's this quote on Twitter that said, I didn't vote for the Republican Party for Republicans. I voted for the Republican parties for Trump. And as of right now, there's absolutely no reason to ever give the Republican Party my vote ever again.
They've lost their identity. Like, they literally have no sense of what they
Yeah.
stand for anymore.
'Cause, like-
And you know what it is? It doesn't have anything to do with Trump. I get it. Trump says some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who he is. That's who you guys elected. Like, that's what you voted for. Okay, you knew exactly what you were getting yourselves into. Okay, he's Trump. He's gonna be Trump. That's it. So don't act like, oh, why is he saying this or why is he doing? That's Trump. That's why he got elected in the first place, because the swamp was so muddy that you guys were like, oh, we got to get something else in here. And so here comes this guy who's like this totally different thing, who's not a politician,
Yeah.
who's not like riding anyone's side particularly, and he just looks like something that is different than what we have going on. So people are like, you know what? Let's just give this guy a shot.
But when you say the swamp was so muddy, do you think that is career politicians thinking that, or do you think career politicians
I just think
knowing
everybody.
but career politicians knowing that that's a good message to take advantage and latch onto because it's a populist message that can win them? Because now because when you have populism, you need an exuberant character. You need somebody who's like fucking like.
You need Trump.
You need Trump. You need Trump. And I hate to say this now looking back, but you need Sanders. Sanders, like, I know people hate Sanders. I know, but he was, despite his geriatric age.
There was no way they were going to let Sanders win.
The Democrats. No.
Democrats.
But the Republicans did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Democrats are too far left despite the fact how far left Bernie Sanders is. But they're left in the sense that how corporate they are, right?
Look, the populist view is like, I get it, okay? I'm for some of the things, but you cannot just like, the government cannot just be a crutch for you for your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what we stand on. Like, that's not what we're built on. You can't just expect the government to like hand out, you know, your basic necessities for you. Because what happens is the next generation of people in this country are gonna get screwed. All right? Trust me. If we ever were to go to a civil war, a Cold War, again with another communist country, and if you don't think like the Soviet Union is coming back, they're trying to put the band back together, you're out of your fucking mind, okay? If you don't think ultimately that the Soviet Union would try to band back together, if the Russian Federation try to put the old team back together and come after the United States when they're a bunch of weak, suckling pigs, then you're out of your mind. Like, there's no way we'd be able to stand up for ourselves with this, like, with how left the Bernie Sanders populist view is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of the things, yes, I believe people should have healthcare. It's good.
Sure.
But at the same time, when you look at some of the countries that have the universal healthcare system, it really sucks. You can, like, that's what I don't understand, is like, why do we always want to push these agendas when there's other examples out there that we can learn from, and nobody actually goes in and does like a deep dive?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we learn vicariously from these other countries?
Yeah.
Why can't we just go and say, hey, you know, if it takes you 8 months to go get an x-ray, do you really want that?
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, it's
I got
not.
this giant bump in my stomach. All right, 8 months.
8 months.
8 months.
You'll be good.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
In the meanwhile, take these antibiotics.
Don't walk on it. Don't walk on it. You know? What are you talking about? Like that.
That's anti-American. Because the American thing is you walk it off, man.
Exactly. And we need some of that too. We've lost some of that toughness. I don't know, especially in like these democratic-run governments like that we have here, like the local, state government. Whenever you have like a democratic leader, you have just a bunch of freaking
pansies.
They're just so, everyone's got to be handled with kitten gloves. They get so upset about everything. It's disgusting, man. It's not real. It's not American. It's bullshit. It's like if it's a way for them to get attention. You know what I mean? It's more like, hey, look at me over here. I'm being...
That's what I was talking about, that article that I wrote about that guy who says that we're dehumanizing persons of colors in these new movies, right? I mean, we talked about that because we're not. It's not even the new movies. It's like we've had entire galleries worth of color representation. But this one guy who was born in 1992, who grew up and now he decides to want to watch movies from Pixar, all of a sudden thinks like, well, we've never had representation in the media before. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like nonstop representation. It's like we're on maximum overdrive right now.
Jimmy?
Yeah?
Just checking.
Sure.
Did we not elect a black president just one term ago?
I'm gonna have to hold on. Give me 1 second.
Twice.
Let me hold on.
Twice.
Wait. Hold on, John, because that's fucking crazy. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna have to.
Can you just research that? Look that up, Jim.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Was there ever a black president? She's not answering me because she's racist. She's racist.
Siri is
She's
clearly
not
racist.
answering. Hey Siri. Why do I still have my?
Siri's a fascist.
Siri's a fascist. She doesn't want to answer that question. Well, since Siri said no.
America is clearly not racist.
They elected.
Can we stop with the bullshit already?
Yeah,
Can we just stop?
Like, despite what you think about what happened with this election, if it was racist, would they elect a Joe Biden Kamala Harris ticket by 7 million plus votes? Despite, let's just go with the narrative, right? The narrative right now, I know. Well, that's a different conversation to have a different day.
That's a whole nother
And
podcast.
also, it will get us banned from YouTube. But right now, as a statement of fact, according to YouTube and the banner that you'll see underneath this video, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden won by 7 million votes, and they are the projected winners and elected vice president and president. If that was the case, if America hated black people so much, would they hate a fake black person? I'm just curious. An Indian Jamaican woman posing as an African American woman, would America be okay with that? That's all I need to know. No. By 7 million votes.
You know what? The fact that Joe Biden is probably the most racist bastard who's ever run for president ever.
According to his vice president, by the way.
According per the words of his own vice president.
Yep.
Maybe we are a racist country now that I think about it.
Hey, but we're good at hiding it, John.
I think
we're good.
I think like everybody was like, I get it. Joe's gonna put the black lady as the vice president, so people don't think that he's such a racist bastard.
There you go.
What did he say? What did he say in a newspaper? I don't want my kids going to school in a racial jungle.
Whoa. That's gonna get fact checked.
Yeah, fact check it, please.
Fact check true. It's gonna get fact checked.
Checked.
Oh wait, we gotta hold on. If we're gonna hold on here, wait.
Can we pull that up?
Hold on.
Pull that up,
Joe Biden, racial jungle, right? Is what he said.
Racial jungle.
I think that's what he said.
I don't want my kids going to school in a racial jungle.
Okay, fact check. Ooh, hold on.
Partly false.
Hold on. Okay. This is another thing that we'll talk about. Okay, like if
I love it.
I don't know if there are people who look at like fact checking sites.
First of all, somebody should fact check the fact checkers.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. But here's the thing. Here's the most annoying thing to me personally about fact checking websites. The idea of mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either something's true or something's not true. There's
Yes.
no way it can be mostly true. I get maybe the idea of some context needed. Sure, I'll give them that. But there's no way that something can be mostly true. And I'll tell you why. Because if something's mostly true, then that means that something mostly is false. Look at this right here. Perfect right here.
Wasn't
Like
Joe Biden-
according to USA Today, it says fact check, post partly
False.
false about Biden 1977 racial jungle. While PolitiFact says the same thing, but is half true.
Half true.
Wait, what? Wait, huh?
These half truths that
It's half truth.
keep
And I
being
hate
spoken
that.
about.
The example I've been giving is just like, Trump says the sky is blue. PolitiFact rates that mostly false. There are clouds in the sky sometimes, so that makes it white sometimes.
And at night, it's dark. It's
So
dark.
we don't
blue.
even really know
It's
what
a
color
dark
that
blue.
is. That's an indigo color, bro. Like,
What?
I hate that.
What alternative universe are we living in, Jim?
So
What is going on?
So I guess
what
if
is going on?
So if we ever talk about mostly truth or mostly false statement on the show, should it be mostly true or mostly false? Oh, should it be true or false?
I think it should be true or false.
I think it should. You think it
I
should-
don't think there should be a mostly anything.
I don't think there should. Be.
I think it's pretty like black and white.
Yeah,
It's facts.
What did he say?
Don't let truth get in the way of facts or some bullshit like
Here,
that. What
we'll-
did he
we'll-
say?
we'll do the
Don't
one-
let facts get in the way of truth.
We'll do the one that says.
Fucking such an idiot.
Here, we'll do the one
I
for USA
cannot
Today.
believe
It
this
says
guy's
mostly
gonna be
false,
the
right?
Fucking president of the United States. I feel
Okay.
so bad for
In
our country.
1977,
Jesus Christ.
Biden said, "This is Biden's words."
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Why is it like this is what we have to choose from? Like really, out of 300 million fucking people, this is the best we've got. This
Joe
is
Biden?
what the best we got.
For Joe Biden?
Just everybody in general. Everybody, anybody in 300 million, let's say half of that is over the age of 35 and can run for president.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best we have to choose from in this country?
Don't look at me.
Jimmy.
I'm the guy who said he killed the guy. I voted for the guy who killed the guy during Vietnam using a grenade. What was his name?
Who?
God,
Gary Johnson?
killed a guy.
Did
with
Gary Johnson even run this time?
name Democrats. What's his name? Sean.
The guy that was
Jim Webb. I'm the guy that voted for Jim Webb. All right.
God bless him.
God, you don't remember Jim Webb?
No, but if he killed a guy with a grenade, he's a badass.
That's it. Which enemy that... Okay, so the question was, which enemy that you made during your political career are you most proud of? And then he's looked at the camera and was like, well, probably that guy that I killed with a grenade back in Nam. And then he just looked at the camera and laughed.
I love
That's
that.
what he did.
What a badass. What a fucking badass. Jesus.
Well, anyways, he's...
I love it.
At least to say he was on the stage with Hillary Clinton, so he didn't get the...
Oh, he didn't get
was
the
out
nod?
by the second Democratic
he
debate.
He didn't get the nod? Oh,
No,
fuck.
but he was good. He was good.
What do you think of Tulsi? I like Tulsi, man. But you know why? She makes sense when she talks. She's not just fucking spitting out bullshit.
Yeah.
Why can't we get somebody that just has some fucking common sense?
That's what
I'm
the
not like
Democrats
on a,
used to be. That's what the Democrats is. That's what I grew up thinking the Democrats were.
That's what I thought too, but
I thought the Democrats were like Tulsi
Yeah.
Gabbard. Like Tulsi Gabbard makes sense. Andrew Yang used to make sense to me, but then he
Yeah.
fucking totally lost the ball ever since he fucking cucked over to the Democrats. Corporate Democrats, because you know what it is? Because there's Democrats and then there's corporate and
Yeah.
established Democrats.
well, the establishment is
And here's the thing that
that's strong.
Here's the thing that
It's hard to
boggles
beat
my
that.
mind. I was a kid. I was not a kid, but I was a kid turned adult when Occupy Wall Street happened.
Mm.
I occupied the city that I lived in like a dumbass with 3 other fucking morons that were there, right?
You were on the streets.
I was not on the streets. I was occupying City Hall's grounds. I literally spent the night. That
Right
was
here
the
in
first
LA?
the first time I ever tented over. Not even LA, the city that I lived in.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
fucking kidding
that's
me.
how fucking retarded and awful it was.
They must have thought you were just a bum.
Yeah, dude, this is how much of a bunk. This is how much like bunk it was. It was. They were just like, there's 3 people
it.
occupying our city grounds. Just fucking let them. They'll go away eventually. That's what they said. That's what they
Well, of
said.
course.
The mayor came out and says like, okay, yeah, that's fine. We were expecting like, fucking Public Works is gonna come and shut us down. The man is gonna like, and they're like, no, you're good.
No, you're good. You guys
you're
are
good.
tired.
It looks like you guys pick up your trash,
They're
right?
gonna-
And we did. That's not the point. That's not the fucking point. We did, but we were upset about the 1%. We were the 99%.
They were probably like, just wait till they go to Wendy's and then you just wet the ground.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Tent out.
But dude, like that's when I first became disillusioned by like progressivism
God.
and extreme leftism.
They
because
had you. They had you.
They
your
had me.
mind
They
fucked.
had me by the
Yeah.
fucking balls. And the guy was like, because there was this 40-year-old dude that was like fucking in it. He was in it, and he was like, bro,
Did he have a job?
I don't know, but he was like, he smelled funny. He fucking had a lightsaber. Called it a day. Like was just like, look. He was like, bro, do you want to go to Occupy Los Angeles? And I was like, fuck.
You're like, wait a minute. I'm getting an invite? Like,
Yeah,
horrible?
yeah, dude. And I was like, whoa.
You're like, sign me up.
Occupy LA.
Mom, I don't know when I'll be back.
Wait, you get your propaganda, you get your boards and shit from downtown LA.
That's hysterical.
And he took me, dude. He took me to downtown. We went.
And he just dropped you off there? Good luck, kid.
Bring back some signs with you.
Stay off of 6th Street.
No. So he took us. We took Alameda all the way up, and he took us. And dude, that was weird. The best way I can explain it was Woodstock for homeless people.
Wow.
Woodstock for homeless people in front of LA City Hall, and I just thought like,
With
this,
all 4 of you just hanging out.
dude. But do you remember Occupy Los Angeles? They
I don't remember Los Angeles.
when they finally shut it down, they had to pull people out of trees. The police were pulling
Oh shit.
people out of trees because they were occupied. They had been
So
occupying.
like the firemen were there saving like cats out of trees, but those people.
Yeah. But it was like, okay, come on,
They're like-
buddy. Like, your family misses you now. So.
There's like
there's
there's like 1,300 missing person reports. Everyone's over there.
Yeah,
hanging
up
off
in
a
trees,
tree.
bro. Like, they came down with an apple, all excited.
Oh god.
Dude, but I was just like, this does
This is
not
hysterical.
seem like this is useful in any kind of way or form.
I don't know what's going on.
Where were we heading with this?
we were just
What were we
talking
talking
about
about?
how ridiculous both parties have gotten.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
we have one party of just pushovers and the other party of fucking hardcore communist chasing. Like, what? This is my thing that I don't understand. When you interview, like you guys are for like these leftists. They're all open for open immigration and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask those people that are coming into our country why they're coming into the country? they're usually trying to leave a situation that you guys are trying to create here. Is anybody not interviewing these people? What? Oh, you can't. So you mean you can't say anything out in public because you can be arrested? Or you can be shot for that. And now you're trying to do that same thing here. You're trying to create that same environment in our country, in the United States of America, that was built on the First Amendment. Okay? That's the thing I don't understand, Jim.
You know what?
Do you know why we have that as our First Amendment? Because that's probably the most beautiful thing that's ever been written. Because those rights should be afforded to all human beings, not just Americans, but to all human beings. And for anybody to say that they should ban or bar or not allow people to have all of those rights, that's where the Second Amendment comes in.
Yeah.
That's why they made that the Second Amendment. So
Yeah.
if ever a tyrannical leader came and tried to take those rights away from us, that the people would be able to be armed and defend themselves against that type of tyranny. And that's what we're looking at right now. We're like looking through the barrel of the shotgun. And on the other end is this establishment that's just trying to woke everybody into submission. We don't want to be submitted. We're a free country. We can work things out, okay? If you don't like what somebody's saying, turn them off. But don't deplatform them. Don't take them out, okay? Yeah. Stop handling everybody with kitten gloves. Give people more. I mean, there's, besides the respect, like, give us some sort of like ability for us to be able to judge for ourselves. Like, we don't get no credit. People don't get credit anymore. Why? Like, are we that weak that we, oh, God forbid Trump says anything, we're gonna start rioting, we're gonna go crazy, everyone's gonna go crazy again? No. You know, normal people are like, no, that's not right. We shouldn't go fucking storming the Capitol.
Yeah. I think most
we shouldn't be attacking police officers. That's a pretty stupid idea.
If shouldn't be burning down cities and looting businesses.
Where I grew up, you don't attack police officers, okay? Unless you want real fucking problems.
Yeah.
Like, we were scared shitless of the police, man. Police came down the street, everyone was like, oh, run inside. Yeah.
Spines straight
We were booking it like back home.
Yeah.
It was never good, okay? We were scared. That's I get it. But, you know, when you get older, you realize, like, hey, they have a job too, and they don't have an easy job. So give them their respect as well. I'm not saying they should be a gang. You know, I'm not saying that. I used to think that. I mean, I still think that. I think some of the police departments are some of the biggest gangs,
like people that there is
in California. But at the same time, when somebody pulls you over and says, "Hey, I wanted your driver's license and insurance," don't give the fucking guy shit.
It's so
don't
funny.
go reaching into your pockets.
It's so funny that you would say that, because I just had an idea. Not an idea, but just a thought, because I remember this, I knew this lady, and she used to hate the cops. She hated them for the passion, right? But when we used to talk about El Chapo, and she was like, well, what's your opinion on El Chapo? He's a fucking drug dealer. Like, he's killed a lot of people, people. And she's like, yeah, but in Mexico, they've created peace because of this and that. It's like, wait, what? So armed guards, armed people have created peace in your neighborhood, but you hate the police. It's like, I mean, I like, how do you have like, I'm not saying that the police are like drug cartels, right? But the idea to uphold drug cartels as peace holders, but to think that police, who are supposed to, in you know,
they're sworn to protect us.
Exactly. To think that they're the terrorists, it's like, wait, how do you, like,
how does that equate?
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, all these people that scream and yell to defund the police and stuff like that, as soon as the shit goes down, where's the first call they make?
And that was the beautiful thing to see.
Where was the first call?
It's not beautiful, okay.
When they were rioting the Capitol, what was the first thing everyone was screaming?
Where are the police?
Where are the police?
Where are the police?
Correct.
Where are the police?
So
they're white supremacists. So that's why they were not there. Dude, I didn't know. I didn't know.
I love it. I love it.
This is where the police were. The police
We are being
were like
so
dogs.
gaslit. It's unbelievable.
They were like dogs with tails between their legs.
Yeah.
They had no fucking option.
Look,
And those who did fucking stayed behind, and they were the ones that got injured and the one that got killed.
the masses are always going to be more powerful. Okay, no matter how much military, no matter how much, you cannot look. Tanks, like they say, tanks don't occupy street corners.
Yeah.
Okay, you are not going to be able, with any type of police or military power, overrun the people. You know what I mean? The people ultimately will prevail. And that's why we have our rights. That's why it's set up this way. So that the people prevail at the end. Not the government. Not the government telling us. The people. But when you want to take away people's rights to bear arms, when you want to censor people's speech, when you want to give a certain class preference, that's when you start dividing everybody. And us as a divided country won't stand for long. That's just the bottom line. Most of us are not bad. Most of the people that live in this country are very happy and proud to be Americans.
And just want to live their lives.
They just want to take care of their families, man.
That's all they wanna
It's
do.
a safe, good place for you to have your family, raise your kids, and bring them up, hopefully, you know, that they can do great things. Because they have the opportunity here to do those things. Because no one is saying like, hey, Jim, you're Mexican, so you can't be a CEO of your own company.
Yeah.
And no one, that doesn't exist here. It exists in a lot of other places, but it doesn't exist here. And that's why people clamor to come into this country. But what are we becoming if we're starting to get rid of the foundation of who we are?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Like, when is this going to stop?
Going back to the conversation about with my brother about like him having his conversation with liberal friends.
Yeah.
I told him like that's the problem with liberals. Liberals think that the changing of principles is normal and okay. Principles need to be grounded, no matter what.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
That's why conservatives and even progressives, when they see shit like this stuff going on with big tech, they realize this is not good. This is not good.
They should be scared shitless.
Yeah, but liberals are okay with that. The media is okay with it.
Well, you know, when most people's opinions are made by the media for them,
Yeah.
that's when you have all this consent.
Yeah.
When people wake up and they realize like we are
Yeah.
not to pump the show any more than it is, but you're all being gaslit. Then
Get
Well,
ready for 4 years of being gaslit because this shit's about to go down. Okay.
okay, so one more thing I wanted to cover,
Sure.
you know, just before we go, because
Yeah, we're at 52 minutes.
yeah, I think we have somebody showing up here. It's pretty soon. We got to get back to our jobs.
Okay.
I think we should start a countdown for wars. I think January 13th.
I'm in.
January 13th. So I will bring a calendar in
You
tomorrow,
should do,
and we will do a countdown
You know what it would be
for the
like?
next war. I want to know.
You know what?
we have been in no new wars during the last administration, but I want, as of January 13th, we can start on the 20th because technically Biden's the president on the 20th.
We should find out how many days since the last occupation of any country has been
Correct.
in the past 10 years.
Yes. Okay. And
So
then
then that way
and
you-
then we'll just do a countdown.
Yeah, so you know how you walk into a warehouse, it's like this many days since the last injury.
Yes.
Yes.
And we'll just have
And
that.
we'll
on
have
that.
it there.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Well, you know what?
All right. Well, I think that was a good first show. Sorry, it was kind of low quality, but you
it's
know.
low quality, but really quick. Hold on, just really quick. Just one thing, really quick before we go. I need to look at it. Police officer. If you guys can, go to GoFundMe, and it's silly, but hold on. All right, so if you go to GoFundMe and if you look up U.S. Capitol Officer Brian Sicknick, his family's collecting money. So if you guys can go on to GoFundMe and if you
is
have
that
some
the-
extra
is that-
cash, that's the officer who died.
Who died during the riots?
Unfortunately,
Okay.
during the riots. But if you guys
Well,
can go,
God rest his soul,
amen.
and if we can go and anything you could do to help
Yeah.
him
So,
and his family. that would
Officer
be,
Brian D. Sicknick, or you can just put U.S. Capitol Police. Go find me onto Google and you'll find it. But
Good job, Jim.
yeah, but really quick. Actually, there's one more thing I just want to talk to you about.
All right.
That's not it. No. Okay, no. That was Jim Webb. No.
Love it. Love that guy.
Okay, the FDA is urging you not to eat this one type of yogurt. Right?
The fuck? Now they want us.
So
to
if you
stop
go to
eating
Costco and you eat yogurt, you need to stop eating that stuff immediately. So this is the 13th. If you're on the 14th, 15th, 16th and you're listening to this, you need to stop eating all the yogurt you've got from Costco. Because it's got possible mold contamination, and I just feel like
You didn't know we were gonna have public service announcements on this show, did you?
I just feel like it was appropriate.
I'm
you know?
glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to get this information out. I sure as hell was not going to read this article.
Yeah, so you're welcome. The blueberry flavor. Don't eat it. All right, John.
All right, in the comment section, write your thank yous to Mexican Jim.
Yeah, subscribe to this podcast. It's gonna get only better. We'll have guests. We'll have MMA information
Absolutely.
because MMA is fun. I think.
Yeah. Muy machismo.
Any last words?
No.
All right.
Thanks for watching the show.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Likewise. There it is. Want to hit pause on that? Kill it. Kill it. Kill it quick. You want to send it to me, by the way, so I
Yeah.
can sync up the two?